Hey all, Choiboy here. Welcome to another video. Today we got the Sharesies portfolio update for November 2021. Not long till the end of the year. Hope everything is going all good for you because it's not looking too great for me, as you can see right here. Before we get into it, just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt because I really don't know sometimes and I cannot predict which ones will be going up and down in the future. So make sure you do your own research and buy and sell based off your own research. Don't come crying in the comment section that you lost money because of me. I'm going to try my best to get through this quickly, so bear with me. Today we got the portfolio value at $18,139. No, I did not cash out anything. It actually dipped nearly $2,000 since the previous portfolio update for October 2021. So it is a bit of a bummer. It's mainly because of Plexure and Blackberry. As always, my two biggest positions I have in this portfolio. Now the total return is negative $2,500, which is a negative 9.17% simple return. As you can see, I am crying internally, but it's okay. It's not even surprising anymore because it hasn't been moving too much for quite some time already, so it's okay. The unrealized gains did go up to $9,944 in the negative, which is nearly $10,000 loss on paper. That's quite high. It's pretty nuts how it can be so high, and I never expected it to be, but it's okay. Blackberry, I do believe in it, and I'll talk about why. Plexure, it's a bit unfortunate it's going that way. Others is pretty much similar, don't have dividends. Realize don't change unless I sell more, so it's okay. And as you can see, the graph is pretty stable. It hasn't been doing too much. Also, I haven't been putting any more further cash into this portfolio this month. Alright, going into the companies individually, we'll start with the US ones. I'm not going to be talking too much about Virgin Galactic, so I'll start with Blackberry first. So Blackberry, why am I still bullish on it? Is because I think it's going to be fine. There's been a lot of activity in Blackberry, despite the fact that there has been people that's been selling internally within Blackberry, but I think it's okay. It's not huge amounts, and I think John Chen, the CEO of Blackberry, sold quite a bit of his shares recently. He exercised some of his options, but I believe that would have been because he gets a lot of his compensation through stocks rather than actual cash. So I think he gets 33% in cash and the rest he gets in stock options. So he probably would have sold those to use as income. So yeah, why am I still bullish on Blackberry? I think it's just starting now. So there's been a lot of good partnerships. I've been talking about all these contracts and deals they've been having in the past couple of months. Now they had a few this month as well. So they had some deal with Mahindra and Mahindra Limited, which is one of the largest automotive companies in India, and they're putting it on the new XUV 700 series. So they're going to be using QNX. It's really good that they're adopting these kind of new technologies that BlackBerry is coming out with. QNX is a very good tool for any kind of piece of hardware that needs a RTOS, real-time operating system. And I guess I won't go into too much detail of what it exactly is. Do your own research, but it is clearly a really good product where it is trusted by a lot of these companies worldwide. So I think QNX is going to be absolutely brilliant in the coming years, and we will really see the light here in Blackberry. On top of that, we got another thing. These two companies will work together to get other companies on board with BlackBerry IVY, which enables them to develop high-impact solutions leveraging in-vehicle data to improve driver and passenger experiences. Now, it's a very good product that it's kind of coming up to light where it's being co-developed with Amazon Web Services, which is one of the largest cloud providers in the world. An easy way to explain what IVY actually is a BlackBerry product is a vehicle-first cloud-connected software platform that presents vehicle data in a normalized format, which makes it easy to use vehicle data for whatever AI or intelligence systems they want to connect that to, and it's easily accessible through the cloud using AWS, I reckon. So this is going to be another interesting piece of work for Blackberry, of course, and this will be a very huge topic in the coming years. I believe they're going to be releasing vehicles that has IV in them in 2023 onwards, so we'll keep an eye on that, and there will be a lot of activities around this hopefully next year, so they see some light and give Blackberry back what they deserve. And lastly, you know, they're still working on their security programs, so remember they do a lot of things. They do QNX, IV, and they still have Silence as well. They are big in all these kind of new tech driven industries. So they have been tested by a company called SE Labs. SE Labs test other security programs and services that other companies provide, and they kind of rate them. And it seems like they're bringing in really good results from those tests. So it's really good to see Blackberry working on all QNX, IV, and Silence to work on their main product lines. They have so many products, and I just cannot believe people are still sleeping on this. Nonetheless, if we go back to Sharesies, it hasn't been doing too much in terms of price. It's been staying at the same level for the whole year so far since the dip. It's just running between $9 and maybe $11. Once it goes up to 15 and comes back down, and it just stabilizes there. So I think it is creating a really good support at the current levels, which is really promising, because normally if they're not going to do so well, people will continue to sell them, but that's not the case here. They're holding very well at the same level for quite some time, which gives me some hope that people are still thinking about it and consolidating. Hopefully this is a new platform for them to go to a new high. Let's keep an eye on Blackberry. The next one I would want to talk about is just quickly Virgin Galactic. It's dipped a bit more, mainly because they have delayed their commercial start by Q4 2022, and that is a bit of a delay, which people think it's a bit too expensive and way out into the future where people don't really want to be with them anymore. So Virgin Galactic's quite dead. I mean, I profit took twice, so I'm not too, you know, sad about this. You know, sometime in the near future I will be selling Virgin Galactic, because I don't have that much. I have 162 USD, which is just under 300, I suppose. And yeah, $300, I'd rather put that elsewhere into another company that I already own. I don't think I'll be adding new companies this year, or maybe next year as well. We'll see about it. Going on to the New Zealand stocks, we have a new stock. So you can see that I sold A2 Milk, and this is because that was bought because of a content I'm driving in one of my live streams called Pick a Stock for Till 7 Figures, where people vote on the chat of what stock I should be picking in the New Zealand exchange. Now, people voted for Oceania this time, which is not a bad company, actually half decent. It's actually a company I hold for one of my family members as well. Oceania is really good retirement village stock, really good business. I really like them amongst all the other retirement village stocks. I didn't buy a lot of Oceania, but there is still one media press I would like to talk about. It's the recent half year they have released. So year on year, they made a 19.7% increase in their underlying EBITDA, and that's really good because that's their underlying earnings. You can see their sales has gone up just a bit, and the occupancy has gone up just a bit as well. So they're doing really well, and they've mentioned that they're doing pretty well despite of COVID, and people are still going to go to retirement villages if they have planned to, despite of COVID or not. So that's not really a problem for them for what I can see, and they're still going to be growing in the next couple of years for sure. Obviously take that with a grain of salt, but I don't think anything is hindering them at this point in time. So Oceania is on a good little track there. They had a bit of a dip recently, but I think it's a good support line here. So if it does reject this kind of support and bounces back off the support, then it'll be really great to see it go even higher in the future. It is hard to say it's like a really good dividend stock, but it's like a growth dividend stock. You get dividends plus you get to ride the stock price increase because it is still pretty small compared to the other retirement village stocks. So that's Oceania. Let's go to the next one. We'll talk about Rakon. So Rakon's been pretty interesting. They have nearly doubled my money. We're at 94.91%, which is just increasing every Sharesies portfolio update I'm putting out. And they did have their half-year results come out the same as Oceania. So it's this time of the year where all these companies are releasing their half years, and it's really good for Rakon because you can see that they pretty much tripled their net profit in their previous reporting period, which was September 2020. You know, they had something in the single digit millions in profit. Now they have tripled that into $18.9 million. Triple your net profit in a year is crazy. It's nuts. And we know why this happened, because of the AKM fire, and they're filling up the shortage globally around the oscillators, and all their product lines well aligned with 5G and the space race we have globally as well. There's a lot of good news for Rakon. I do see the stock going up to $3 to maybe even $5 in the future, and it might not be that far. It might happen really quickly. We don't know. Rakon will have to solidify and really take on that market share they have right now and increase on that while they have the opportunity to, and sign some really good deals for them to get their name out there in the global space. So great news for Rakon. I'm gonna keep my stocks in it for sure, and maybe even add more. I'm not sure, but it is one of my best stocks so far. I haven't had too many stocks that doubled in price, to be honest. Out of the NZ stocks that I put a decent amount, this one's pretty good. So I might be adding more, not sure. If it does consolidate, I would definitely want to add a bit more. We'll see what I will do with Rakon. Lastly, Plexure. Plexure has been interesting because it's been going down for the whole year. Not a single uptrend, just downtrend the whole year round. And there's been so much FUD, and FUD pretty much means fear and uncertainty. They still had to put out the news, and it's quite interesting because if you look at the news, like it says Plexure shares sink as company concedes expensive growth push prior to merger failed. I think it was pretty obvious, like didn't really have to be newsworthy, but I guess the newsworthy part was Plexure shares sinking, and I guess they talk about why. It is creating a bit of fear amongst the investors, to be honest. And they used the same picture they used like a couple of months ago when Craig, the former CEO, has resigned. They used the same picture again for this news, which was pretty recent. Not sure why, but you know, this is causing even more fear. So, but yeah, it's talk about they have announced operations to trim staff and possible drop in this dual listing. That pretty much means that they're going to be removing the ASX, I believe. So they'll probably just keep it on the New Zealand exchange and remove the Australian exchange listing. So that would be pretty interesting to look at. We can see that Craig has sold a bit more stocks recently. He holds 1.7 mil previously. He sold roughly 750,000 shares, which leaves him with just under 1 million shares now. He didn't sell everything, so maybe he does see a bit of hope still for Plexure. I'm not sure, but it is quite interesting. Honestly, pretty smart, to be honest, because it did dip quite a bit now. So I'm not sure if he's going to buy back or anything, or I don't even know if he can. But this is going to be something to look at. But I am also keeping my eye out for Andrew Dalziel, which is the former CFO. He still has quite a bit of stocks as well, and I would be slightly worried if he sells out as well. But that's something to look forward to in the future, hopefully. So yeah, it's been a lot of fear and uncertainty for Plexure, and you know, you see this new half-year report come out for them as well, same as Oceania and Rakon. So you can see their revenue dipped just a bit, 7%, and their 6% dip as well. Their net profit pretty much, well, it's not a net profit, their net loss has pretty much doubled from the previous year. So that's slightly concerning, but you know, as they mentioned, growth phase failed. Probably one of the reasons why they spent so much money and didn't get much out of it, because there was no revenue increase when they have spent a lot more money. So that was the net loss. Cash at bank is really high. They pretty much 5x their cash at bank, meaning cash they have in the bank. But this would have been heavily reduced now. I believe on the 1st of October 2021, they would have gave Task $30 million because of the merger, and that would kind of bring down this value to around $20 million. The funny thing is that they would have done the deal after this half year result date, because they didn't want to look too bad on paper. They don't want to show they only have 20 million all after all that capital raise to investors, because yeah, so they probably did that after, and that's why they probably chose 1st of October right after the half year results come out. So interesting times. Plexure, will I be holding it? I mean, I lost so much money in it already. I still think this is a bit too low for them. Like, honestly speaking, it is very driven by news, but not really fundamental. Sure, their loss is really bad at the moment and their revenues didn't move for the whole year. Sure, but I think the merger would definitely change a lot of what's happening in Plexure, and it will do for the future as well. And I'm willing to kind of stick it out. The only time I would be selling my stocks would be when I want to buy a property, which might be in the next 1 or 2 years. And if by then it's not up or break even or even positive, then I will have to sell Plexure at a loss. But we won't think about that till then. For now, I am willing to stick it out with Plexure, but I know a lot of you would have left Plexure already. That's totally fine. A lot of this news would have been quite unexpected for most of us. I mean, all of us, I guess. But this is the reality of the stock market. Not everything's all nice and gravy and rainbows everywhere. You know, there are dark times like this where unexpected events come out and they just ruin a whole stock. So it's going to be interesting to look at how Plexure goes for the future, and Blackberry, and you know, Rakon as well. Definitely good to see one stock at least doing really well compared to the others, but didn't put too much money into it, but it's okay. But yeah, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, put a comment down below what you thought and what stocks you are interested in to buy recently, or what have you bought recently. Just put it down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching without that. Put the bell notification on for my next live streams and updates, and I will catch you in the next live stream or video. Until next time, I'll catch you around. See ya.